What if aging or disability did not mean giving up walking, but using technology that quietly keeps you balanced and safe? In 2025, humanoid robotics are in heavy development. There is the Tesla Optimus in the United States, and internationally, there is like Unitree Robotics in China, and quite a few other prominent and significant humanoid robotic companies. Recently, I've been watching videos of assistive technology for walking, where maybe it just helps support a knee or uh, is something that someone wears to run faster up and down stairs. They are not necessarily meant for people with disabilities or the elderly. However, some are built for physical therapy or potentially people with various ability issues in relation to walking and such. So, with humanoid robotics, we are basically developing technology for sensing balance and keeping balance. In this case, humanoid robots are made of metal and plastic and perhaps carbon fiber or various polymers. I suppose if we want to get a retro vibe, they could put like wood panels, sort of like those various cars from like the mid late 80s or early 90s that had wood paneling on some of the cars. They could make that on humanoid robots or various other related technologies. But I digress. That is a side, that is a tangent. The fact of the matter is, this technology is being developed for various things, whether it's physical therapy or humanoid robots or helping people with walking issues. So I think at this point it's a matter of refining the technology, improving the technology, and ensuring people are aware of the technology, ensuring the people that want access to the technology can have access to the technology, helping people understand the limitations of it and where the technology might be going, and help people who are developing the technology understand the needs of people who might utilize the technology for, again, if this is assistive technology for people with ability issues or, elderly people who might otherwise be in a walker or wheelchair or so forth, then if those developing the technology are not aware of the needs of people who might use the technology, well, it may not be developed as fast in a direction that is as marketable. So in that sense, it can benefit both the people developing the technology and trying to earn a profit off developing the technology and people who might need or utilize the technology if it gets developed in an efficient way that is, mutually beneficial in the ethical capitalist sense opposed to ruthless capitalism. So, with that said, I've seen videos of robots from China or Optimus, possibly, or other humanoid robots running or doing martial arts or flips or so on and so forth. Humanoid robots with two legs, a torso, a head, and arms. So, it's like, why have robots actually assisting people when aspects of the technology could simply be utilized? Now, with AI and machine learning, perhaps, if somebody wears something securely, that is hopefully ergonomic and not uncomfortable, well, they could effectively, and hopefully it's also sleek and not very obtrusive. Some of the technology I've seen that is, assistive for physical therapy or so on and so forth is not bulky. And, all technology is miniaturizing. Maybe not all, but a lot of technology is miniaturizing, whether it's chips or motors or, various other electronics and, actuators, gearboxes, whatever else. Like, I don't know all the technical terminology, but my understanding that the like smoothness and, energy to torque to force ratios and the ability to control them in, in a very exact way is getting better with time, as far as the various types of motors that they might use with humanoid robotics that could also be applied to the sort of technology I'm discussing. Now, if you see my other videos or whatever, I'm also for defeating aging. So ideally, we could just rejuvenate all of humanity so no one has issues being mobile or walking or so forth. Regardless, though, I think it's important that, the idea be shared or spread that if you just think of with humanoid robots, the legs, and the torso, and of course, if you had some sort of very sleek ergonomic exoskeleton that used the balance technology, in theory, if the AI and machine learning could basically know how to not exceed a human's range of motion in a way that would be unsafe, then if we had such device, it could be potentially utilized in a way to allow one to basically walk normally as they would want to, and then the machine learning, robotic, electronic technology would simply ensure they do not fall, they keep their balance, and if things start to, if it detects that that's not going to be happening, it can sort of help them in a safe way to stop moving, stop falling, or to go into like a, what would you call it? Like a kneeling position, or go down on the knees slowly and safely, or any other number of things that could be done with robotics and electronics to prevent injury for people who have ability issues or the elderly. In countries like Japan and various other countries, the demographics are changing as such that, there was the baby boomer generation, and then various other generations since then have been smaller and smaller. So, in demography, they say, something like demographics are destiny. So, if the population is aging overall, people are getting older, and in general, there's people of all ages who might have ability issues with walking, then perhaps such technology could have quite a market and could be mutually beneficial for ethical companies trying to develop ethical technology and people who want solutions to various problems related to mobility, walking, balance, and so forth, and safety. So anyway, I suppose that's just food for thought. I guess I make a lot of videos, and I guess I'm making this video just because I feel like, stuff is already happening, but perhaps, even if just 50 or 100 people see this video over the next 1 to 3 years, perhaps the right person will see it, and this will spark some idea that will help accelerate this. There's a whole effective acceleration movement. And perhaps somebody will see this and it will inspire somebody, or they'll look into this more. You know, the more ideas are shared, the more ideas sort of grow. Anyway, that's all for now. Bless up and limitless peace.